Hi everyone, today we're going to have a look at using the calculator for statistics. So I'm just checking that you can actually read that. Yeah, I think you can read that okay. Alright, so one of the things that you need to remember when we're using the calculator is that we need to get into our stat mode. So to get into our stat mode, remember what we need to do is for this particular calculator we need to go mode and 2 will get us into stat mode. Now for other calculators we need to go mode stat. You'll have a mode button. Other ones you just press the mode and one of those modes will come up. Some of the others down here, the older style calculators might have stat, and I can help you if you're not sure, just need to ask me in the next lesson. When you click the stat mode on the new Casio, it gives you the options, and the one you want is option 1, which is 1 variable. We don't do statistics with 2 variables, we only do it with 1. Okay, you will then get, probably you'll see a frequency distribution table. For my table for the moment you can only see I have an X. So normally what I would see is I would see the score and then the frequency. Now if I only wanted to enter each score once, well I would enter the scores, say if it was $400, $640, $700, and I would just enter and hit equals each time, which would automatically enter my frequency of 1. Now for the moment I need to change my setup because I can't actually see my total distribution table. One variable. And it's not allowing me to go back. I've just got to remember how to do this. Okay, shift mode to give me my setup, scroll down and I need to go to the 3. Now you'll see it says frequency, so again I'll just go through that. It was shift mode to access the mode setup, and then I chose the stat setup. This will only work on this particular calculator by the way. And it's frequency on or frequency off, so I need to turn the frequency on. Now if I go back through that process again, you'll see now the process again is choosing mode, 2 for stat, 1 for 1 variable. I now have an X and a frequency column. So the example I'm going to do today is looking at number of echidnas that have been tagged. It's the one that I'm doing from the PDF, number of echidnas that have been tagged in a national park. So I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and my frequency is 8, 11, 5, 4, 2 and 1. So I'm just going to enter each of them. Now I like to just enter my scores first, just by hitting equals and then come back and adjust my frequency. You can do them at the same time. If you wish, you just need to use replay to come across when you enter the score, then enter the frequency. I just prefer to enter and use the equals button, which just is like the enter or the return button on the computer, and that way I can enter them all in one row just straight after each other. Okay, when I've entered them, then I can use my statistics to be able to do some calculations. Now one of the first things that I needed to do, and I actually didn't show you this, but you need to make sure that you do it, is you need to clear every single time that you do this, you must clear your stat memory. Okay, so remember to clear your stat memory, you're going to go shift and the clear. Now for this one, clear sits above the 9. So it's in yellow, which is the shift colour, and it's shift 9, and you're looking at the CLR. Now when you press that, you then need to press equals, because equals afterwards it says press equals to confirm. I think you may get memory all clear, or you might get stat memory all clear, okay? Or you may just have clear the scores, but you want to do an all clear, and you need to press equals after. And then after that you can just press AC to get you back to the screen. If you can't see your X frequency table anymore, again go back through, pressing mode 2 for stat, 1 variant, and then choosing, it'll come up automatically for you with your frequency table. Okay, so either AC or clear to get your screen back, and now I'm going to access my stat menu. So the stat menu is here, and in this particular case it's sitting above the 1, so it's shift 1. What I'm probably looking for is I'm looking for the variance. So if I hit 4 at that menu, so the VAR, it'll give me some options. 1 is the N, that's the number of scores. 2 is the X bar, which of course is the mean. 3 is the standard deviation. But we're not really going to use that one. If we want to use the standard deviation, the best one that we're going to do, I think it's under, no, maybe it is that one. I'm not used to using this calculator. Okay, so 4 looks like sample standard deviation. Bless you. Now they did have a different symbol. They used to be the standard deviation N, or the standard deviation of N minus 1. Used to be the symbol that they used. So I'm presuming that this is your population standard deviation, which is your N, and your N minus 1 is the S. Now this is when we have a sample. Population when we're using every single score, every single thing in the actual population, or if we're choosing a selection or a sample would be our N minus 1. So once you've entered your scores, you simply need to access the menu and press the correct button that you need to do to get there. Now if you're using an old calculator that uses a one of the old calculators, and I thought I had one but I don't at the moment, you'll need to enter using the semicolon button. So you'll need to put your score and then the frequency and then M+. Again, make sure you clear your memory first. Okay, so make sure if you have an old calculator, an older one, clear your memory first. That's your first step for everything. And then you're going to enter your scores, because you won't have the option of doing a frequency table. And then the frequency, and then press M+. And I think you'll need to, I think it is actually shift 1, or it might be shift 2, and it's in a different colour, or it's in a different word other than stat. It says stat variance or stat something else. And I'm happy if you have an older calculator to help you in class when we get to this. So if I was to now type it in to find some of with my data on the echidnas, so my variance, if I wanted to find the mean, pressing equals, accessing the mean, which is number 2, press equals and I get 1 point. So the mean for my data here is 1.483 ... which is 1.48 to 2 decimal places. And if I looked at it does tell me that there was a sample chosen. So if I'm looking for standard deviation, then it would be my sample standard deviation. And I'm going to get, which is this last one here, number 4, and my sample standard deviation, which is represented by a sigma, that's that symbol, and N minus 1, is 1.3631 ... which will round off to be 1.36 to 2 decimal places. Remember to put your ... and then choose your own rounding, unless of course you're told to do so. I think that should give you enough information now that you can start working through the rest of exercise 402. and I think we worked up to question 4, so you should be able to now start working your way through question 5 through to question 9.